Well, day one of the PTR, and it was interesting. Initially, the PTR was crashing like crazy. I eventually got in and was stably not crashing after a few hours, and I put together a PvP character. I was actually able to craft full 700 gear score gear. The only thing I didn't have access to was 700 gear score jewelry, as well as any artifact items. Those, it looks like we are gonna have to go out and farm if we want to test, so yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the musket. I think that the musket is a pretty interesting weapon. It's gone through a lot of different changes in the past few patches, and this iteration in this patch might be the best iteration that musket has had yet. I love that they made it a projectile. It's pretty fast, but it does have a bit of delay, and I find that it actually makes it almost a little bit easier to aim than the old Bloom, where you had to hold perfectly still. At least for me personally, part of aiming is moving my character left and right to adjust the aim just a little bit, and I find that being able to do that again has had a huge impact on my musket gameplay. Well, in this clip here, we at least get to see that change to grenade, the very smooth throw. Not only does it make it a lot faster to throw, and you can transition in and out of your rolls with the throw quicker, but it's easier to actually aim because it's so much quicker. I find that it just feels more intuitive, so a really, really nice change to that skill. It has me playing grenade again. Man, I absolutely love that skill. And here we go, the penetration that musket has now. I shot a a body shot through these two guys, and I hit both of them with my initial bullet, and I really like that change. I feel like it adds a lot to musket in PvE that it was kind of missing before, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a sec, but at least in PvP, you can be a little bit more effective when you're shooting at the stack. And here you guys see an insane amount of damage on that power shot. That was like almost a 6k power shot. With the dots, that was a 6k power shot. Yeah, that skill hits insanely hard now. I honestly think it might actually hit a little bit too hard. 7k damage sounds very high, and damage is just in general a lot higher on the PTR because everyone has a lot more health. But yeah, that's dealing a lot more damage than my Rapier heavy attack can do, so quite an impressive number there. And eventually we do manage to wipe these guys on the stack. Now, they did greatly increase the range damage for all the ranged weapons, especially musket in PvE, and I wanted to include a clip of me shooting up a mob. Oh my god, it does an insane amount of damage to mobs now. Way more than I'm hitting on players. I think I got over a 10k power shot on a mob, so yeah, pretty strong. Definitely pretty strong. Now, also on the first day of the PTR, a lot of people were trying to get a mount, and there were way too many people in the area where the mount quest actually happens. And it was preventing people from actually entering that zone, saying there's too many players in that area, and everyone's just kind of stuck on an invisible wall. Not really the best because I wasn't actually able to test out the mount, but on the plus side, there was quite a bit of open world PvP in this area, so I had a few kind of fun fights here, and just a little bit more musket gameplay, I guess, for you guys as well. I think in general, PvP is feeling pretty decent from my first impressions on this patch. The removal of Resilient doesn't seem to have a massive impact on how your gameplay kind of goes. I think maybe there's a little bit of change in numbers. Some people might be doing more or less damage against specific builds, but for the most part, PvP has been feeling pretty good. I definitely noticed that there is a little bit less healing power until you actually get your hands on the new potion that they added, which is a combo regen potion, and that guy has quite a high cost associated with its usage, so I'm curious how that's going to affect PvP, but for the most part, I think any healing you can get your hands on is kind of a necessity for combat in general, especially if you want to be competitive in something like PvP, so yeah, that new change is definitely a reason why I think they took a little bit of the healing power away from potions. And oh my god, that grenade combo is so nasty. And yeah, no excuses here. My aim is just kind of sucky sometimes. Oh well. Do manage to get the poke and finish that guy off. I guess, in conclusion, musket feels a lot better than it used to, and it's not that super long-range menace that it used to be as well. There you see another almost 6k power shot on that guy. I think it's going to be a lot more popular. We'll see how it impacts the meta. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Of course, if you enjoyed, hit that like and subscribe button. A big thank you to our sponsor, ExpressVPN, and a huge thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon for supporting the show. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.